There we go. All right. Hello, everyone. Today I'm
Yo.
doing a bit of a different type of video. Something I promised that I keep forgetting to do, but I got off work today and I was feeling a little spunky. So, this video I'm just going to be mostly talking about my behind the scenes I did for the Pac-Man Superfast video. This was a fun video to make in more ways than one. I guess I could say the story starts. Let's start off with how I even thought of doing this video in the first place. So, our story starts a couple months ago when I was on Twitter late at night when I shouldn't be. It's 9 o'clock. It's past 9 o'clock, and I'm thinking about my life, and I'm already not trusting how I feel about myself. But then I saw daily Pac-Man account that my buddy Ryan runs. He had actually, I think I explained this in the video itself, but I believe I forgot that makes stuff lag. Let me not click on that. But yeah, daily Pac-Man account, and bro was talking about there was like, there's a new game on the YouTube playables. And for those of you that don't know, YouTube playables is like that YouTube's attempt at like ADHD maxing the newest generation of kids. Like, it used to be a meme that you could watch Family Guy funny moments and play Subway Surfers, but that's like almost real in this day and age. I'm not sure. Is Subway Surfers playable on YouTube playables? I'm not sure, but you have all the other games. You got Where's My Water? You got all the other Jetpack Joyride's on there. That's close enough for me, honestly. Now, I do find it funny that YouTube doesn't let you watch videos and play the games at the same time. I feel like if they enabled that, that would unlock like a brand new dimension of just kids that can't focus, and it's already bad enough as it is with shorts. I'm shorts maxing, guys. But again, I'm getting a little off topic. Yeah, video begins. I learn about this game. It's a YouTube playable, and then I start playing it on YouTube. Now I thought, this will be fun. It's just a random little Pac-Man game, and I was thinking it wouldn't add up to much. But I believe if I go to my footage here, and this should have been here. I don't know why it's not here. Let me drag this over here. Look up Superfast, because I am not going to. Oh, why is the video playing? Why is the video back here? You could also think of this as like a side-by-side, a little bit of a developer commentary. Sorry, it's not gonna be as good as like The Incredibles though. This ain't like a 2+ hour DVD, bonus DVD where I go over everything and the backstories of all these little scrunklies in here. But I don't know. Let's start. Why do I keep dropping my mic, bro? This is so unprofessional, but whatever. But let's start from the beginning here, because the beginning and the middle of the videos are kind of like the highlights for me. But the beginning, yeah, I'll just go over here without much context.
Pac-Man, where are you?
Oh, don't give me that look. We need to talk about your quality control. Can you explain what this is? What in the world 3 is wrong with you? It sounds petty, but today I'm going to be breaking into every little thing, good and bad, about this game. Yeah, so the intro. The intro for this video was fun because I'm always trying to add more 3D stuff to my videos. This was actually a leftover segment for a Motos video that is still in production, that hasn't been finished. So what I did is that I took the framework from that video and moved it over to this video, made a brand new 3D room and everything. I think I did this. This is the most ambitious thing I made in 3D and Resolve. Because other videos had little bits and whatever, but like this is the first time I full scale actually did something without without having to make much compromises actually. Let's see. So if I open this in Fusion here, open in Fusion page, you can see what it took to make this entire scene. So we're gonna hide the media pool, and we're gonna hide the inspector, and then you can see everything here. So this is the 3D room from that scene we just watched. And all those green lines are where the camera moves, where all the people move and whatnot. Maybe I'll edit in, I mean, I could just show it off now. I do have some test clips of me in this room. So what you saw was the full version, but here's a version that did not appear in the main video. And if I scroll through here into all these folders that are not, there might be some stuff in there you don't want to see actually. Hold on. Where did I put it? I have a folder here called, yeah, I'll definitely be cutting this out later. Where did I put it? Now I'm mad at myself. I said I have everything organized, but Windows lagged and then I lost the folder I was working on. Hold on. It's under the quick folder, I think. Quick render test, or was it quick clips? We're about to find out. Here it is. Found it. Nice. So this video initially, I was doing, whenever I do a video like this, I do a couple tests to see, all right, how's the camera framing gonna work? Yada yada. So I have all these are different tests of me doing it. So this is door slam number 1. This is what it looked like when I first did the render. And it's, now, why do you not appear on the top? I'm clicking on you. You know what? That's fine. Let me extend this by a tiny bit. So if it goes into the background, I can just click on it. So this is the first render test of what the video looked like. So I actually made this without having a script because I knew what I wanted in my mind. I was like, I want to be bursting through the door, yelling at Pac-Man. But I was like, you know, I was unsure about if this 3D environment I made would work or not. So I just kind of threw this together, bam, bam. It works. Cool. I'm happy with that. The second test. So there's Pac Room Test 2. So yeah, for test number 2, you can see things are looking a bit better. We got Pac-Man in here. I believe there's no lighting set up yet. It's just showing, you know, all the images as they are. Pac-Man on the couch I built, bam.
Pac-Man, where are you?
I forgot. I saw.
Don't give me that smoke look. You're not 20 anymore.
Oh, this
we
part.
need to talk about your quality.
Oh yeah, this part was all jank. But I know for this part here, for those of you that have watched the full video, you might notice I sound a bit different. Where was I? I didn't have my recording set up. So I just wanted to record what I had in my mind. So I just, like, off the top of my head, just recorded something, like, late at night. That was all fill-in stuff. Yeah, but, yeah. This part pretty much stayed in for the most part. If I go to the next test, I think this one has significantly more stuff. Hold on a second. Quick render test again. Oh, that's the gift. Oh, here we go. So this is when things look a bit better. I think this one has a bit of a smoother camera movement. So let me move this here. Yeah, so this is where I got the door flying. This part was fun. So the inspiration for this part, actually, oh man, of all places, comes from a freaking so this effect happens in other games, but most notable was freaking Dr. Robotnik's Ring Racers, because there's this effect when you blow up, and I had to study the animation for it. The screen goes negative for a second, and then everything like shakes and whatever. So I wanted to replicate that because I always thought the explosion from that was really funny. So that's literally what this is. Can I even go frame by frame this? I don't think I can. No, it just skips. But yeah, if I just pause really fast, but you can see, also there's a little bit of squash and stretch here. But yeah. Yeah, the brief little bit of negative, like, I get, that's more or less just an impact frame when you think about it. And then the door flying off.
Pac-Man, where are you?
and I like that. Also, fantastic artwork from Lyra over here of Pac-Man. I believe I also got art drawn from let me see if I have it over here. My buddy Eddie. I commissioned him too. And then I think when I was showing Lyra, I think she got jealous. She was like, well, I can draw Pac-Man also. And then she decided to go all out and try to... Yeah, yeah, go ahead. You can speak up about it. So I had Eddie's artwork, and then you were like, well, I can draw a good Pac-Man also. And it wasn't
Pac-Man just as good. You watch.
And it wasn't to like offend you, but you know, I like commissioning different artists, but Lyra's like attaching herself to my leg and be like, no, only me.
Yeah. I've got to be the channel artist.
Let me see if I can pull up the art Eddie made though, because I think it does briefly show up in the video, because I didn't want to waste it, because I paid good money for that. But hold on, let me see if I can go to here. Actually, let me move this because there are future video projects in here I don't want you seeing. Let me go to home, go to video project assets, 2024 video projects. Now, wait, where is it? It's not under 2025 videos. Here it is. All right, so this is, let's see. No, that's Chomp Champs. Oh, I'm being stupid. Once again, good job, Ted, good job. Forgetting everything. Arrangement, here it is, Pac-Man Superfast. So this folder contains all the assets that are used for the video I made. And this is how I organize all my videos. And I try to have it all set up. There's audio. This folder's got more stuff I edit. But the part we're looking for is, so there's a couple key drawings. I'm trying to find it. Please say it's in here. I'm gonna be so mad if I didn't even put it in this folder. Blah, blah, da, da, da. I mean, at least I'll say, first off, this one was made by my buddy Red. Hyper Red, to be more specific. I can't remember, I think he saw the other drawings because I was talking about the differences in Pac-Man art style and stuff. And since he was already drawing something that was in line with the style I was looking for, I was like, hey brother, can I nick that from you for the video? But he was more than happy to let me borrow that. But where is the other one? That's the thumbnail for that. I'm kind of mad that I don't even have it here. So I'm wondering, did I put Lyra's artwork in the dedicated Lyra artwork folder, or is that somewhere else? Hold on, let me jump over here again. All right, documents, home. Now this is art of me, Lyra art. Oh, here we go. Making sure there's nothing NSFW in here. All right, so Lyra artwork. So yeah, here we go. Now I'm a bit of a fraud because I forgot, but two artists that do like official Pac-Man work. There's two like very distinct styles, and one's like the more traditional artwork, but then the other one's like it's got the more classic Namco look with the flat colors. And my thing was, I was kind of indecisive of in the video if which one I wanted to use. But of course, Lyra, coming in like the superhero she is, was like, I'll just replicate both styles. I'm trying to see if Eddie's is in here. Hold on, let me go back and see if Eddie's art is here, because I feel like it is. Oh, here it is. So he goes by Dreamy Wolf on, I think, Blue Sky and Twitter, but his name, he prefers being called Eddie. But this is the artwork he made, and you might recognize some of this stuff from previous Pac-Man videos. But this is what I commissioned from him initially. So these two, and he was more than happy to draw them in both styles, because I wanted something like this for the thumbnail of the video. And I think the original thumbnail was gonna be something uber dramatic, like loser creep weirdo. I might put that in post. that was a thing because I think there was an inside joke where we were all laughing at like all these really clickbaity YouTube thumbnails where people like black out the eyes and then they have this impact font or whatever going over about something. It's so annoying and it's overdone, but I wanted to do that, but I'm glad I didn't do that. But either way, yeah. So initially, this was Eddie's artwork that was gonna be used over here in the video, and I think it still is used. If I advance further a bit, let me see. There it is. So it does appear very shortly though, which I'm a little ashamed of actually. I feel like I should give it some more screen time. But in terms of the artwork, so yeah, Lyra's artwork is here.
Petty, but today
And then after here, when Pac-Man gets bonked on the head, by the way. Oh, data moshing. Ew, don't do that, please. There it is. So it swaps to that one here. So I'm proud of the artwork getting used there. Also some little fun behind the scenes things of this intro. So I kick open the door, yada yada. We're all here. This shot I want to do. Okay, so this is jank as all heck. It looks terrible, but I wasn't trying to get it to look good. I just wanted to do an effect of just, I remember in my mind, I was just envisioning, I want a camera shot where the camera's close to Pac-Man, I'm far away, and my hand is just like near the camera. And I have this gif of me that we kind of post around just called "Look at It" or something, because again, it's just funny to me. But where did I put it? In quick render test? I think it's in here actually. Hold on. Here it is. This one. Ooh, you want to play it? This is what it looked like during editing. And where else do I have here? But yeah, this scene was that here. So how I made this though, again, in all the stills actually, I did everything in A-Spray. And this is my drawing program of choice. I probably should use something like Clip Studio or whatever because, you know, that's obviously better, I guess. But for me, this just works better. So this scene specifically, that's what this is made up of. I did the hand, which I just noticed I technically drew backwards. Or, well, actually, whatever. Anyway, I got the hand here, just holding generic phone. There's my arm. And then I just stuck it to me. And if I look back at the video, that's what it looks like here, like in the full rendered video.
What is wrong with it? It sounds bad.
And then in the actual video, when I was editing it, this is what it looks like in scene. So let's hope and pray nothing breaks up this time. Playback, resolution, good, it's on quarter. I was about to say, if it's on full resolution, this video is probably gonna crash. And, oh yeah, you can see what this is what all the assets look like in real time, actually. Wait, hold on, let's go back to that beginning of the intro. Hit this thing, please doesn't crash. Crying, it doesn't crash. So yeah, I'm here, da-da-da. So, oh yeah, the right side, this is what renders in, you know, the actual video. The left side is what it looks like from my point of view when I'm editing stuff. So if I just like drag this ahead a little bit, you can see everyone moving, the camera's moving into me, where I am, has that intro music. And then the camera quickly pulls out. And when it pulls out, that's when the door bursts open. So the funny part about this, when the door burst open, I wanted to have a way to have all my friends and supporters in the room, but then I was like, wait, how am I gonna clear everyone out? And that's part of the reason why I wanted to kick the door open. I was like, that lends a great excuse. Wait, actually I could go frame by frame now. Hold on, can I do that in here? If the arrow keys decide to work today? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, we can go frame by frame. Watch the deaths of my friends in slow motion. So yeah, the door, so as soon as the frame I kick the door open, the lights turn on. And then everyone starts getting flung out the way. So there goes Bravo and Left, they get flung out. And so but the thing is that, you know, there's no physics injury or anything, so I had to like frame by frame move everyone out the way. So yeah, there's Left, so everyone just basically more or less gets moved out of the camera. So if I go back here, there's Lyra, she gets knocked out over there in the ceiling. I realize how funnier this looks when you're actually moving everyone. There we go, move that down a bit. Camera swaps over here to me. And please don't lag. Please don't lag. But yeah, more or less, that's where I start talking. Now, if I jump ahead a bit, it just, so the models for me talking though, I didn't know how to swap them in and out. So what I do is that on the frame I'm talking, I just move me up and down. So that bit of boundary break for you, you know, you like that sort of stuff. Yeah, so there it is. Look on the right side of the screen. So when I start talking, I just move the other PNG of me down here because I was like, wait, how do I swap this out? I think the same thing happens over here if I advance a bit more. So yeah, so this image here, this is just a still of me standing still for a couple seconds, and then I go to the one of me talking. I don't know, I must have been insane for thinking I could have animated myself talking, but I think the whole little 2-frame thing was enough. Also, I'm very proud of the camera framing in this part of the video. Getting the camera to be really smooth here was a bit of a challenge, but I like this. It just slowly kind of tilts as I'm talking. Although I do think it moves a bit too fast here pulling out. A lot of the timing for the camera stuff is hard to do. I have to like manually guess because, well, it lags a lot. Oh yeah, and here's the scene I was talking about here. This is what it looks like. This is what it actually looks like. There's my phone. Oh, I love this kind of thing in 3D. I see the stuff of like Sonic models and stuff, and it's like, yeah, this is how I got the pose. This is how I'm doing the SA1 pose, and his arm's like a million years backwards. But yeah, that's how I made it look like here. Let me see, can I like zoom in just a smidge more? Move it here. There we go. Yeah, so this screen here is just the gameplay I just slapped in. And the camera is like quite literally just right here, pointing towards me. Oh yeah, I also think because of like 3D spacing and stuff, one thing I didn't realize was that like initially, even though I had the arm like straight like this, I had to like make it more cone shaped because in the actual video, again, you know, when you're messing with 3D, the perspective looks weird. So I had to like widen it out and then angle it towards my body so it looks somewhat normal. Let me see, where else? Yeah. Again, it's really jank. If I really wanted to take my time, I would have just honestly, I don't know, drawn a different pose of me holding the phone out, but I like this a lot. I think it's fun. Oh yeah, more frames of me under there. And let me see, what else do I got? If I move this ahead a bit more, and again, please don't crash on me. Ooh, it's lagging a bit. So I think right here, when I say every little thing, I wanted something to fall on Pac-Man's head. So all those objects are, again, out of frame. Lyra, what are you doing in my face? What are you doing here? I stuck you in the ceiling for a reason. But all the objects that hit Pac-Man, they're just like loaded out of frame. And then when I call for them, that's when they just hit them like one by one. So there it is. And I think when they hit him and they bounce off of him, they fly far enough to be out of camera, so it doesn't matter. Also, again, if you notice, these are just assets from Maimoto's video. So, you know, lazy developer reusing assets. Oh no. Call me out. And I think this is it. Yeah, and then for the end of it, I just wanted to have an explosion and then the camera fall. So, yeah, cue the explosion right about here. I think Pac-Man's still there. Oh, that's what I need a reason to get rid of Pac-Man. So I just used the explosion as an excuse to like it be active enough to get rid of him. And then yeah, as the explosion happens, I just literally just drag the PNG of him down here. This is probably not effective, but you know, it works. And this is how I did the intro for the most part. Oh yeah, and then the camera falls to the side. But yeah, not bad for a little bit of a messy mess. I think another reason why I made this video is because I want it to be. I mean, I like doing jokes and stuff. It's not like I'm purposely making the video where it's like, yeah, this is Comedy Central, baby. But I wanted it to be entertaining, but also informative because I wanted to talk about, well, the technicalities of this game. But yeah, if we go out here, and I go to the main video now. So, intro and all this. So I had to remake this video technically, like 2 times because when I initially wanted to make this video, I heard about the game, I played it, and it was bad. You know, the first version of Pac-Man Superfast was pretty bad, and I was like, oh, I want to make a quick, easy 1-week video about this. You know, I'm gonna bust out the editor, I'm gonna record some footage, I'm gonna talk about how they screwed it up, you know, how bad of a job Red Fox Games did. It's gonna be easy. We're gonna go full AVGN on this. You know, the case is closed. The problem though was that like after I made my video, the game got updated. But the thing is like you see the runtime of the video here, right? It's like roughly 15 minutes. The video was originally going to be closer to like I think like 8 minutes long, I think. Yeah, video was closer to like 8 minutes long. But that all got scrapped because, like I said in the video, they updated the game. So I'm kind of glad I was a little bit slow when it came to wrapping up the video, because I would have definitely looked like the world's biggest idiot if I had released the initial version of this video and then just been like, yeah guys, this game sucks. And then they updated it behind my back. You know, the video launches and everyone plays the game. They're like, hey, what are you talking about? This game's pretty good. Oh my god. I imagine that reality. That would have hurt me so much. But you know what? Them updating the game did give me an excuse to like dig through the values and everything and then make like the other mid segment. And I know you guys aren't here to hear me yap about like all the technical yada yada details, but so I'll jump to the midpoint of the video that a lot of people tend to like, which is because my YouTube analytics show me that people kept rewinding on this one specific part, which is kind of funny, kind of cool. I like seeing where it's like, oh yeah, people are rewatching this. YouTube YouTube doesn't call out specific people, but it will call out people for like, yeah, a lot of people tend to be rewatching this segment of your video. So I'm gonna go to super fast. Boy, loading in the background. All right, so we jump ahead. Resuming our maniac excuse for unintended YouTube. Oh, also, I must briefly explain the main reason why I added this here. Floating in history, but today we're gonna zero in on Pac-Man's latest game, Pac-Man.
Hey, it's me from the future! Later in the video, I gotta warn you that the game is actually...
I added that in because I needed a reason to recover information I had already talked about. But the problem was that that's why I added this whole stupid time travel subplot to this video, was because since the game got updated, I didn't have the reality is that like if I didn't have a good excuse for this, I would have to like literally scrap the entire first half of the video, because there would have been no reason for me to be talking about all this. Like all this here would have been just meaningless to talk about, because it's like, what's the point? The game updated. But I do feel like it is important to cover a game before and after an update, because people would be gaslighting into thinking that this game was good on day one, which it certainly was not. But let's jump to the time travel subplot in the middle that I really did like a lot. Let me see. Jump ahead a bit more. Here we go. This part was my favorite. Hold on. This was also the most painful part of the video. Also, got to reuse the thumbnail artwork Lyra made. I like. Oh yeah, that's what was again when I thought this game was gonna be bad. This was the initial thumbnail, and I was like, Lyra, everything's screwed up. I need more artwork. Quick, I think this is like at the end or something. I was like, quick, draw us as friends. Where is it? Yeah, over here. It's somewhere over here, but I saw for a brief minute. Hold on. Come on, where are you? There we go. Have any repercussions? Yeah, there we go. Really happy she did that part, because it was like,
Yeah.
wait, I don't want to kill Pac-Man anymore. The game's actually good. Fix it. We gotta fix this. All right, so let me jump to that midpoint segment that everyone seems to love so much. This is also part of the reason why I want to like do 3D more in my videos. Not exclusively, but I feel like 3D segments are fun. It's like a fun way to like flex what I've learned, but also do things that I can't normally do in 2D. So there's this part. Man, I can't believe I had to end the video like this. Too bad this game is an irredeemable pile of trash. Oh, hey, it's a call from me. Wait, they updated the game? There's no more flashing? They actually fixed it? This is terrible. If only I had a plot convenient time machine to warn myself that the game wasn't that bad.
Huh?
Oh, thank goodness, Miss Pac-Man is here. Not gonna lie, this place looks tiny. How do you plan to fit in here? Anyway, I got a video to say, so full power! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I got so many stories for this segment.
From the future. Later in the video, I gotta warn you that the game is actually
Not that bad. Well, no idea if that will have any repercussions. So in the meantime, let's review the new version of the game here. Yeah, this is where the video went from 1 week to make to like 3 weeks. And then yeah,
while I was editing this
Yeah,
video, they updated the game. And while that makes me happy,
I basically explained this
also
here. Yeah, there's my reaction. Oh man. Yeah, so one night, I think after I was like 99% done the video, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna see if I need any more B-roll footage for the video. And then I remember I went back to play the game. I'm like, something's different. Like something's not right. And then I told everyone like the Pac-Man server, and we were all going nuts because we're like, why they fix it now? Then they changed like a lot of the game's values and yada yada. But either way, all right, this segment here, the star of the show.
Man,
Where do I start actually?
can't believe I had to.
So for one, this part was the hardest to render because I had so much going on that like DaVinci Resolve, which is like the best thing ever, by the way, it like rarely crashes on me. I'm trying to do things it's not really made to do, so I can't really be mad at the program. It's kind of not my, it's not the program's fault when I try to do stupid stuff with it. But yeah, this whole scene, I tried to render over a dozen times. It was so intensive with all this stuff happening in here. It just would not render no matter what I did. It kept crashing. I would set it up. I would literally go to bed at night. It would be like 11 p.m. I would wake up at 5 in the morning for work, and it would still be rendering. All for it to like catch a stupid snag in the middle and then say the video cannot be rendered. And I was stuck with this problem for at least a solid week until I figured out how to fix it. And I'll talk about how I fixed this problem later, but just going into how I made this, this segment is pretty fun.
Like this.
So camera goes over from here. Also, these stills drawn by Marley, by the way. They're an excellent artist, and I felt like it captured the vibe of what I needed.
Irredeemable pile of trash.
So camera jumps over here. I believe if I actually go to resolve, hold on. And now if you'll notice, I have that scene I made is in a separate instance over here. The video was so intensive, I had to actually copy this entire project, render this specific scene, copy the MP4, and then input it into my own video because it would not render. So yeah, the true part is over there. But if I go to here, that way you guys can see the behind the scenes of it. We're gonna go in here. Ooh. Even clicking on it makes the whole thing lag. Yikes. All right, we're gonna go to open in Fusion page. And this is where the fun begins. So I'm gonna shrink this down a bit. You already seen this. So things are a bit different. This is a separate resolve scene I had to create. Also, yes, the elephant in the room I'm going to address. Yes, the time machine, Squidward's time machine. I mean, if it even is called Squidward's time machine, it's just a time machine that Squidward went in, but whatever. Here's what the scene looks like out of frame, which, I think is pretty cool. I only had half body stills to use, but honestly, I only needed half body stills. I didn't need a full body still. So I was kind of happy with what I had going on here. So let me see if I can advance this a bit. So that's where I talk about like, man, this game is a pile of trash, yada yada. The camera quickly zips from the left side to the right side, and this is where I start talking over here. And if I advance this further a bit, actually, let me pull it to the side. Get that different dynamic angle. So there's the camera on the right side. You can see how I get those shots. So I like this one here, of it just like, kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. I see these angles in my head and I just have to recreate them in 3D. But like I wanted the camera to like start up from the top and then like gently like come down, like basically like the letter J or something. Think of it like that. And then it swaps over here to me talking. The problem with this scene, I wasn't thinking ahead, was like I needed the camera to pull out all the way because I needed to make room so the time machine could bust in. The problem with that was I didn't have a full body still, so I was like, let me very sneakily, like, let me see, can I go frame by frame in this? I should be able to. I'm gonna go full Game & Watch mode and like turn my still horizontal. Uh-oh, I'm clicking and nothing's happening. This is scaring me. So from my POV, you know, here I'm just like, you know, thin, flat piece of paper. You can't see anything. Over here, this is where I quickly swap both the PNGs. Cause like, oh wait, I need a reason to like show my full body off. And there. Could I have found a more graceful way to do this? Definitely. But again, you know, I wasn't thinking that far ahead. You know, if I advance a little bit further, yeah, this is where the camera like this is where I talk about saying, oh, I wish I had a convenient way to go back and fix things, you know, after I notice the game's good. So camera zooms out. The most intensive part of this video is where I have a billion things flying around. Also, there's a couple errors in this video you might notice. I'll point out the errors as they happen. But if we're gonna go, for one, if you're gonna notice, like, let me drag this over here. You're gonna notice, the Pac-Man cabinet over here does not have gameplay playing back here. Like a dum-dum, I accidentally had a node. I had the gameplay node connected to something else. So that's why it doesn't show up there. It's just an empty cabinet. I mean, most people probably aren't gonna notice that, but I did, and it really irritated me. But it took so many times to re-render it that I didn't even care anymore. So here it is. Camera zooms out all the way, right? Everyone's just vibing. All right, this part. I had to animate all this hand by hand, frame by frame. Let's, oh, goodness. So we have another crash out scene. Like, why am I saying crash out? Crashing scene. I'm not crashing out. Let me see. If I can advance frame by frame. Hopefully this doesn't break anything. There it is. Okay. So, this scene right here. I need everyone to be blown out of the way. So, luckily for me though, I happen to be smart enough to basically place what I made behind here. This whole thing is a different instance. So I got like my own little pocket dimension right here. And I had to think of a way, how do I bring this into here without ruining the room I made? This is the cool part. So I go here, advance. Come on, advance frames. There we go. So time machine starts bursting in. Everyone gets flung out the way. Poor Red. I'm sorry, fam. She goes flying into the stratosphere towards the camera. There goes Miles. Oh, and I think Jaspar gets knocked out of the way too. Oh god, this is a lot to load. This is why I gotta go frame by frame. Is it? Oh, there we go. Oh, we're back. Okay. Ooh, this is scary. I'm trying to not crash this. Come on. So, I wanted to animate this crashing into the room, but I also needed to knock the arcade cabinet out of the way and this couch. So if you notice, and I'm begging this thing to please work. So I noticed I'm kind of stupid. You can't really see the full extent of it because I put Jazz too close to the camera. But if you look, you'll see there's the arcade cabinet sliding in over here. Also, there's the screen that's not connected properly. And there's the couch. The couch goes flying also. And then I also wanted I think the ceiling to cave in too, at like the last second. Yeah, and there it is. There's the ceiling caving in a bit. I think all I did was take the ceiling and I just tilted it by a couple degrees. I can get this working again. Come on. There we go. Yeah, and the ceiling just crashes in. And this is where I just stand there and then I turn and go, huh? Now, the most intensive part of this video is after I talk to Miss Pac-Man. Also, there's another small error here, if you notice. So let me like zoom in here. So you're gonna notice right off the bat, when I place myself here, yes, I actually was crazy enough to give the door a hinge. If I go to the model I made, but I'll show you the model in just a second. Please advance forward a bit. Oh, there we go. So the door opens, and Miss Pac-Man is inside. Now, this is the fun part of the video where this is where I have to play with perspectives and things that people, the stuff that you can't see, that I'm able to abuse in 3D space. So if you look at this right here, right? This is so funny. From your POV in this part of the video, and let me do a side by side because I'm gonna need you to really pay attention to this part. Oh, I should have just highlighted just this specific clip. Not gonna lie, this place. So right here, everything caves in, door opens. Also, fun little fact: the gameplay node, the Pac-Man gameplay's back here. This isn't the full video, but I couldn't be bothered to fix it. I couldn't fix the little error. But either way, so you see the scene right here where I'm looking at Miss Pac-Man. Now, keep in mind, we're still in my arcade room, right? I need you to pay attention to how we transition from my arcade room to inside the time machine. So look, we go here, I go in. This place looks. The camera zooms in, right? Now, there's a bit of a little rendering error there that you might be able to see, but notice when I go from here and the camera turns around, data moshing aside, we are in a completely different segment now. We are not in the same area we were. I had to move everything like across the 3D plane. Now, I know this sounds crazy and stupid and I'm rambling. Let me show you what I mean. So here we are, right? Again, right side is the perspective you see in the video. Left side is what I see. I had to play with this part. There's nothing in here. I took bits of the wall because I know from that perspective, you can see inside of, you know, the time machine. But over here on this right side, that's all you're gonna see. Now, how does that transition to me being in the full room? Well, this is where the crazy part happens. If I advance a few more frames, hopefully this doesn't miss it. Oh, let's jump ahead a bit more. So camera starts to slowly go in. And I wanted to have a smooth transition from the back of my head to it like pulling out and showing the rest of the inside. So there it is. I go inside, I bum rush past Miss Pac-Man. You know, screw you. Actually, no. Actually, I love you, Miss Pac-Man. We need you. Pac-Mom is on the loose and killing everyone as we speak right now. Move that about here. So this part right here, notice it. So camera's right here. It's pointing at the back of my head, right? So we're gonna go frame by frame until you notice something happens. Camera's still zooming into me, right? Still zooming in. I'm still right here. I'm still staring at this little segment of the wall, by the way. So like if I zoom in, this is all you see. This is all that's here. Advance again. I'm on one more frame. There we go, one more. All right, so camera's getting ready. And I think the camera's lined up to where I wanted it. So I had to copy this exact moment. Bam, everything's gone. Everything is moved. Well, so where is everything now, right? Because I left the time machine here, right? But you see on the right side of the screen, I'm still looking at the wall, right? What happened between both these frames? Well, you see, dear viewer, I created a pocket dimension over here. This is where everything goes. So this is where the rest of the video goes. So yes, I explicitly copied Squidward's time machine by I found the assets. So like there was a SpongeBob wiki that had like images of Actually, I think, no, there was a game. I forgot. Goodness, I can't remember if it was from the show or the game. But either way, there's images of like the actual time machine and like the art that's used on the walls. So I used that to build a box in here. And then, you know, the ceiling is, well, the ceiling and the floor they're just replicated from what it actually looks like in the actual episode. I have reference images I used here, I believe. If I go to Superfast, and then I go to, I don't know if that's in here or not. It might not be here. Actually, wait, it should be here. I quite literally had a reference image I used, so if it's not here, I'm gonna be a little mad, actually. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Also, a lot of these assets I just remade by hand because it was like, well, no one recreated this, and again, I don't know why I did all this, but it's for fun. Honestly, I think more people should just do things for fun. We'll find it later. It's not that important. But if I'm going back to this here, yeah, we got that. I got the floor matching, you know, the vibes are set. Now, if we advance a bit more, because the camera's pointing back at me, and I click right here, you see how the camera turns around, and then you notice in this scene it pans, and it shows me inside the room. Getting the camera to smoothly move was not easy here. You see this track I have here. It makes like this weird U shape. Again, I didn't have knowledge of how to move the camera as smoothly. I mean, I knew how to use splines and keyframes like down here. If I go to spline, I can see if I go to splines and I select the camera, right? This is all the stuff I had to do to make the camera move the way it is. Let's see. My goodness. So to make the camera move smoothly, so this specific node here, this one where it curves, what you have to do is you have to highlight the nodes and then you press S. And what it does is that it smooths them out. It basically takes one point to another, and instead of making it go jaggedly, from point A to point B, it'll add a little ease in and ease out. And that's what I did here. But it could have been smoother. Fun effect to have, but oh yeah, and if you haven't seen before, yeah, this is what the whole project looks like in nodes in Fusion. This is the entire thing. This is how I built everything. It looks a little intimidating, a little scary, like a spider's gonna jump out and eat you. But fear not, I am the crazy person that enjoys doing this. I mean, at least I'd say once you have it built, you really don't have to worry that much. But back to the room. So we're in the room here. And let me jump ahead a bit. So camera, blah, blah, blah. So the camera pans out. And I remember I wanted to show all my friends in here. And then I want, that's what it was right here. I want the camera to cut out into space. And then as everyone gets kicked out of the time machine. Because I thought it was funny. So here it is. This scene right here. I wish I could have done more of this, but I remember I cut it down because I did not want it to make it seem like I was basically running a joke into the ground by just, making it extend too long. But yeah, this scene right here, so this is another scene. So see this whole space background in the time machine I built? Yeah, that's another separate scene right over here. So there's the camera pointing down at it. There's Squidward's time machine I built. Also, yes, this I built 100% by myself. I think the only asset I took was the door. But everything else I did, and I'll show you how I did that in a second. But yeah, everything here, and then everyone gets kicked out. It's literally just the door opens and everyone gets ejected out into space. Because, haha, funny. And then this segment here, there's also a bit of an animation error. So I needed an excuse, and I didn't know how to set it up to make it. You know what? Actually, I'm more impressed of how I did this door. This has a hinge. I built a whole hinge and everything with this scene right here, and god dang it, you're gonna appreciate the hard work I put into building this, because Nobody else but me is gonna know, but I'm gonna put it out here so people can see what I did. So this section right here, where I'm jumping up on the future past sign, you know, and I go down and break it, right? If we go here, and we go to the time machine, if I go to this merge 3D layer right here, and I believe it's this one, hoping it's this one. Yeah, it's that one. Okay, sick. So this merge 3D layer contains all the information, and let me zip out a bit, for this right here. So obviously for the sake of the camera, I place myself to the far left so I can be visible. But right here is where it happens. There we go. Okay. This looks really simple, but this was pretty complicated. So I just took 2 PNGs of this thing I drew back here and I turned them into like these little logs. But I had it set up in a way where I could like make it look like I was pulling the switch down. I know to a lot of people that probably use Blender or something else, maybe this ain't that remarkable or anything, but at least for Resolve, I felt like this was fun. So like if I go here and you could see that the oh, that's what it is. I put the hinge of it back here, so I could actually move it. And so if I grab this and I go, oh, that's what I have to go to inspector, go to transform, and then I go to the node there, the rotation one, right? So this whole thing I built. See, if I drag this left and right, this actually moves that hinge over there on the left side. Don't pay attention to how that hinge is also connected to the merge layer there, because obviously you can't see that, that's on the background. But yeah, if I really wanted to, it's all here. All right, now let me go back to this part here. Oh yeah, that's what it was. And I wanted to replicate that scene where, you know, again, it just, you know, for Squidward's time machine, you know, he pulls down the lever and it breaks. That's all I was recreating. So that's what I have going right here. Again, here's the animation frames, what it looks like. For the jumping, I was too lazy to draw myself jumping, so I'm like, you know what? Let's take the Sonic approach and like put me in a ball. That's why you hear the Sonic CD jump sound effect. And going back to that, and that's why you see this here. Anyway, there it is. It's like literally there for a split second, but you hear the Sonic CD jump sound effect. So everyone kick down into space. Oh, I still gotta explain how I built the room. But either way, there it is. I grab it.
I got a video to save, so full power.
I don't know. I like something about this scene I really like. Slam it down, right? And I fall backwards. The camera moves over here, and then these pop up. So again, going back to Squidward's time machine, this is still a joke on the actual SpongeBob episode, because I believe, when he pulls it, he gets like loser or something. And so me and I forgot which friend it was I was talking to, but we thought, wouldn't it be funnier if it just said a winner instead of loser? And again, these are just icons from the game. And yeah, and then this whole scene happens. And then the time machine disappears. So the time machine, building this in 3D was fun. It was hard, it was fun. I only had one point of reference, honestly. So let me go here. I'm gonna pause it here. So right here is me building the time machine. I do not know if I have this saved in GIMP or not. I'm gonna be a little honest. I may not have the project saved. But going into Resolve, and I go to the time machine. Let me jump ahead a bit. Trying to not let it crash on me. Actually, I don't even have to really go over there. I can just like go over here. But whatever. Here we go. Here we go. This is good. So yeah, the time machine. Oh yeah, and the whole space background that moves. Yeah, it's just a video of generic space shooting by. That's just layered over there. So I'm sorry if you thought I actually went to space and got that footage. Also, Bravo just chilling in space. You can see how things get messier the more I was working on this video, because I was like, I don't care about placing assets neatly anymore. So, Squidward's time machine. The time machine, if I could select a face, the entirety of this machine I built is contained over here. Each of these is a single face on there. Like, I don't know how else to put this. But like, when I built this, every single like line every single like flat face you see there, that is a separate one I placed, and I built this by myself. I really don't know if I have the I'm going a bit off script of my already unscripted video, but let me open up GIMP real quick. I might have this saved. I probably don't, but I might. Here we go. So this 3D room I made, I go to 3D environment. That's not it. 3D room assets, is this it? Here it is! Squid's time machine. Ha! So I use this picture here as a frame of reference. So in my video, I was like, all right, this is what I want to create, you know? How can I translate that into, well, you know, a 3D model? Same thing, you know, so this is what it looks like on the outside. This is what it looks like on the inside. And I think I captured the vibe pretty well in my video. You know, hashtag humble brag. I think it's okay, so let me see. Actually, right side over there. Let me zip out just a little bit. So if I like balance both of these, you know, here's the outside, here's the inside. I think I captured the look and feel pretty well. You know, obviously it could be better, but in terms of my low budget masterpiece, I'm quite happy with what I did. Let me shrink these down so you can kind of like see a true comparison of what I got going over here. Oh wait, I forgot this image thing acts weird if I do this. Let me shrink this down. But yeah, like hold them side by side. It's not exact, but I'm happy with this. See? Let me scroll out a bit. There we go. Yeah. I mean, there's other little weird details I didn't get in here, but like, obviously from the little snapshot which shows here, I made that dirty, splotchy floor. I made the, you know, the algae green looking ceiling. And yeah, that's pretty much all. Yeah, and then the broken lever for the time machine. All that's there. And then recreating this part here for Squid's time machine. All that's right there too. Oh, I think I did draw the door myself. Either that, or I think I just looked up a generic Krusty Krab door and then I copied, pasted it there, but whatever, you get the point. I will say one fun thing about the inside of the time machine. Sorry, I gotta keep jumping back and forth. Let me jump to like the beginning of this video here. Please don't crash. So going over here on the right side, right? When you go into the time machine, notice how when you go inside of it, you only see the room and nothing else. When, like, on the outside is the, you know, the actual walls of it. Zoom out again. So see how you can see the walls on the outside, but as soon as you go inside, you can't see them anymore. So I found this really cool effect. Now, again, people who do stuff in 3D are gonna be like, oh, Tay, you're so special for finding out something that's already existed for a long time. But, I was happy when, you know, I think things feel better when you discover them by yourself, because it's like, I had no idea something like this existed. I just remember thinking, oh, wouldn't it be cool if there was something that enabled me to, like, basically look at something, like, one way, and that's what I found. So that's what I did for all these individual parts here. Oh, here it is. These image planes right here, they're all connected. Yeah, so if I go to Inspector, and then I double click on it, and then I go to Material, and then for Material, I go to, is it Material ID? No, it's not. I think it's Controls. Yeah, it's Controls. So you go to Visible. I have it set to cull faces, and I culled the back of them. So basically it just means that you can see from the front, but when you're inside, you can't see. You can see from the inside out. You can't see from the outside in. that's how I do that effect of me walking in. Because I remember thinking, wait, how am I gonna build this thing? It's so tiny, there's no way I can manipulate the camera in here. And it works. There are a few cases in the video where you can see, hey, wait a second, I see something clipping. But for the most part, it works for the most part. People ain't gonna notice. Right? And then jumping ahead a bit more. Yeah, that pretty much does it for the time machine though. So I just have it basically spinning and shrinking in the background in real time. Oh yeah. So this scene here, in the actual video, you see it like spinning and disappearing. So what I did was like, let me fix this. Camera being weird on me now. Let's go to fit. So yeah, it's a lot longer in the editor. Oh my god, look how long that is. Let me hide that. Wow, that is long. So yeah, in the video, you only see this tiny bit. Let me go here. It spins and then it disappears. But in here, that's how long I had to stretch it to make that effect actually work. And yeah, that's just basically it. You just keep advancing frame by frame. It just spins until it disappears. Oh yeah, 2 space backgrounds. That's the regular stagnant one, and this is when it's warping. I'll get back to this. Looks like a little dollhouse. I love this. This is fun. Maybe one day I'll move it to Blender, but for now, this is funner. I like pushing how far this can go. And what else in the video do we have to show off? I don't want to bore you all with the technical stuff because I feel like most of that's already in the video alone. But to re-explain, we ran through all the numbers. My buddy Glitchberry, they just basically dug into the game's files, because if you just open up inspect element, you're able to like access everything, which is kind of funny. And after some digging, they just found like all the values, and then they taught me how to find the stuff and blah, blah, blah. And that's how come we get all these numbers and stuff. I really wish people did pay. I know there's people out there that don't care about numbers when it comes to like, you know, explaining things, but I feel like these numbers are actually important, because this wasn't stuff I just pulled out of my butt to be like, oh yeah, look at all this technical stuff. But I felt like this stuff actually had like real relevancy to the video topic, because again, you know, when games get updated, you know, people look at patch notes and what's changed, but like stuff like this, no one, at least to my knowledge, no one will ever be talking about something like this. No one's gonna say, oh yeah, the values were changed, this was changed, that was changed, because comparing it to the original Pac-Man game really made it fun for me. Let me jump ahead. Like, what do we have over here? Actual YouTube playables. Me making fun of that part. Here we go. So yeah, Barry was really nice to like list out some of them, and then we just did a bunch of comparisons. I mean, again, if you want to hear the full comparisons, just watch the video, but it's all here. I also do remember, for those of you that do watch the video, in the description of the video there is a link. I left a link to a Google document that contains all the assets from this game. I would upload it to Spriter's resource, but I have no idea how to use that website properly, and I think I tried to upload something once, and then like one of the mods got mad at me because I did it in the wrong way, and that website is very clunky and weird to use. But apparently the website just got like a major overhaul and update, so maybe I'll go back and try again. But I like making discoveries free and easy to find. Plus, this game has like a lot of cool backgrounds. Like all the backgrounds I used for my video came from this game. And I feel like more people should have access to this kind of stuff. But yeah, in the video description, there is a Google Drive link that contains all the assets from this game in there. So if you want them for yourself or like your phone background, like please feel free to use them. Oh, this part here. Here's just parts of me just nerding out. Don't say, no one can say I do not care about Pac-Man or getting accurate information. I went through the trouble of getting all the numbers comparing them all and inserting them into a graph. So basically, like, hold on, because this is kind of blurry. Let me put this on like half. But basically, yeah, I took all the numbers and I was just like, all right, I found a website. I could have done this on like something else, honestly. I don't know why, but I went to a website that just lets you like input points from a graph, and I just wanted to show people the power pellet durations. I don't know. Was this necessary? Maybe not, but I enjoyed putting it in here. Just weird little technical stuff. That pretty much does it. But then, again, at the end of the video, I talk about everyone that helps me. Again, Glitchberry, they did an amazing job helping me figure out, like, the specific numbers. Fred was nice enough to let me use his Miss Pac-Man art, and then Lyra for doing the amazing thumbnail and stuff. So my thoughts on the video as a whole, again, this was supposed to be a 1-week quickie. Am I happy it turned into a more of a longer video? I kind of am. I like what happened because of the unexpected update to the game. I will admit, though, I'm a little disappointed in how long it took to make it, purely because I was so dead set on getting that 3D environment render fixed. But, oh yeah, I probably should explain how I even fixed it in the first place. So, when I was rendering this entire 3D environment and everything, and again, I put this separate instance over here, the reason why it wasn't working was for two reasons. It's funny because all these little, if you notice, like all these little dots I put here, these are like areas I deemed safe that would render, and then areas that were deemed not safe that wouldn't render. And of course, the area that was deemed unsafe for rendering, this red segment, this PC lied for a bit. This red segment over here is when I think Time Machine crashes into the room or something. Yeah, there it is. That's why everything lagged. But this segment was like unsafe. The video kept crashing at this red marker. I deemed it was this part. I was like, what part of the video? Either way, when you go to render your video in Resolve, you have quite a few options. So I'm gonna go over here to like the render page, right? And oh, my avatar's covering it. Let me see. Can I scroll down all the way? I don't think I can. Let me move me. I'm gonna move me real quick. That way I can show you guys for good. Also as a personal frame of reference in case this happens to anyone else. But if you're rendering a video and it like keeps getting stuck on a singular part, what I did was I went to advanced settings down here in the bottom right. And what did I do? Was it really advanced settings? Maybe I'm wrong. Hold on. There's a couple things you can change first off. Let's start with like the most simplest to the actual reason why I fixed it. So simple thing is the codec. Always render your video at H.265. H.264 is kind of dookie trash. Not only do things take longer to render, but they take up a larger file size. And that's really unnecessary. Your encoder, make sure it's set to whatever GPU you're using. I am using the studio version of Resolve, so it may not let you do that in the free version, but either way, the rest of this still applies. And then when it comes to actually rendering it, where is it? Render, single clip encoder, blah, 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 blah. Here it is, look ahead. So this right here, this is, you don't get anything from me. This is the most important thing I need you to see. Look ahead. This by default was set to 16 frames. So and don't quote me on this, but I assume this means this is how many frames DaVinci Resolve looks ahead for you to like render a video. And so I kept crashing because I guess for me, what was happening was that in Fusion, Resolve was trying to look ahead and like process all that 3D stuff I had flying around, but that was too much to make it crash. So what I did to fix it was that I changed the look ahead and I dragged it all the way down to 0 frames. That means, and I could be wrong, but at least to my knowledge, that means when the video got to the next frame, it didn't know and it would just start rendering it like it was a fresh new one, instead of like looking ahead and trying to buffer everything ahead of time. And this was the one thing that fixed me after being stuck for literally a week and a half, because I think only one YouTube video I found even mentioned this being an option. Everyone else though talks about like, oh, make sure your quality's set, you know, to something decent or other settings, but like, no, this is the one thing. The look ahead is the most important thing that actually got my video to render when I was spending hours trying to figure out why it wouldn't work. It was making me so mad. But yeah, that is the Pac-Man Superfast video. I didn't know if I wanted to like watch the videos side by side and give you like developer commentary. I could do that too. I think I just wanted to talk about the highlights of this video. So if you want me to double dip and do a developer commentary where I just watch the video alongside my own video and I just pause it occasionally and talk about it, I guess that's a thing too. But yeah, today's video I just mostly wanted to focus on the intro and the middle part, and then there's all the fun technical stuff in the middle. But yeah, I had fun doing it. But thank you all for watching, and let me know if you want me to dig into some other video stuff I made, or if you want some of these assets I used in the video. Because goodness gracious, all this is a mess. I mean, I love messy timelines. It's fun seeing what goes into making a video, but whew. Next video should hopefully be a lot more put together than this. I'm definitely not going to run into the same mistakes I did in the past, though. I have learned a lot. I have grown as a person. We are not letting that happen again. Oh, especially every time I do something 3D, I want you to remember that this is me doing a test, because I have actual bigger videos that will take more place in 3D. Not even the Sonic one. That's still a test within a test, believe it or not. There's so much testception. We'll get to it someday. Also, I'm rambling too much. I hate rambling.
Bro thinks he's GLaDOS.
Yes. That was a perfect way to say it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye.